What is happening, y'all? It's Down South 77, and this is 3 Star Draw. This is the Adult Collector channel where we talk about G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe Classified, G.I. Joe stuff, and other stuff. Today we're going to be talking about some other stuff. I'm going to do an opening and we're going to check out something that I picked up yesterday. It was in that little pickup video that I did. We're going to be taking a look at the Turtles of Grayskull He-Man. This is a figure that I have been looking for. I did say this was the only one that was out that I really wanted to get other than Mouse Jaw, and I'm waiting on clearance for him. After I looked at these guys again last night a little closer online, I want Donatello. I want Raph, but when he comes out in the next wave, but I don't really like that Raph figure. Raph is my favorite turtle because he, is a sarcastic smartass. So, of course, he's my favorite turtle. When I was a kid, it was Michelangelo, but as I got older, I grew into Raphael Sans ninja skills. So I want to get him, but this one and or him, and I do want, probably I will get Ram Man because that is a cool figure. So I'll probably try to get them. I didn't realize till last night when I was listening to a live stream and mentioned that I picked this figure up. I didn't realize he was so hard to find. I guess I lucked out picking him up yesterday, and if I'd have seen Donatello in person, because that was the one that was missing out of the wave, I probably would have grabbed him too if he's as cool in person. But we're gonna go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna open him up because I'm gonna use my Exacto to go around the bubble. I don't want to mess the card up because I do really like the card. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and we will take a look at the Turtles of Grayskull, He-Man. All right, y'all. Be glad that I paused that while we got him out because I don't know what they're making these bubble plastics out of over at Mattel, but next time I might use a Sawzall. So I got to go back and I've got to trim the card, but I did want to keep that card. I got one spot down here that I kind of tore it a little bit. Um, I'm gonna go back and kind of trim that off so you can see on the card here. Gorgeous card. That's why I want to keep it, and I just tossed the bubble. You got the purple boulders and Turtles of Grayskull in the Motu font. He-Man, most powerful mutant in the universe. Skeletor at the top, Shredder on the other side. It's just a really nice card. I'm digging the purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors. And look, it's got green and yellow in the background, which, as we know, are my two favorite colors. As I'm rocking the yellow here for the display and the backdrop, because I really wanted something that will stand out, or that will make this figure stand out rather than the blues or the reds that I usually use. So there's the card. We've already taken a look at the back, so I'll set it off to the side here. He does come with the mini comic, which I also nicked the corner over here trying to get it out. So it has a bunch of them on the front. Um, Kind of gives you a preview because I don't think we got, is that Triclops over there? Oh no, that's Tila. So there's a good image of the comic that he comes with. Trying to get it where it's not got as much glare on it. I'm going to flip through the comic if you want to pause it. Just going to show the pages there. I haven't read it yet. I just got it out. I will go back and read it a little bit later. I do think I saw somebody say that the comic kind of tips off some other stuff that might be coming. Gorgeous artwork on this in this comic here. Look at that Tila, man. How you doing? And there you see toward the end we get old Krang there and the big old built android body. So I will have to go back and read this because I don't read this. I don't know any of the story of this. I like Motu. I like turtles. I like turtles. Um, and I wasn't sure about this mashup when they first announced it, but I don't know, some of the figures have grown on me, but this was the one out of the first ones that we saw that I knew I wanted to get. So of course you got the sticker down here on the bottom of the bubble. You get Masters logo on the left, Turtles logo on the right. So let's take a look at mutated He-Man here. So I do know I have one subscriber who has mentioned that he has, oh, he's in there with twisty ties. I didn't realize that. You can grab me a knife. Or not a knife, grab me some scissors. Alright, yeah, I went ahead and cut those if I realized that there were twist ties on it. He's got one on each leg, one on each arm. Man, that noise. Let's go ahead and get him out. He's got the awesome club here. And he does come with some instructions here. So this is new to me, as I don't really do Motu stuff, or not I have this line. I'm pretty new to it, so it's actually got a breakdown of the figure and which parts are removable, so you can mix and mash them, match. Either way, I guess you could do both. Mix and match them. I know a lot of collectors do that. I watch Cobweb Collector does some excellent videos on Motu. He's kind of the go-to Motu, and I like his videos. He does a lot of customizing on these guys. So there's the instructions on what you can swap around with him. I did not realize until I started watching a lot of Cobb's videos how easily swappable these Motu figures are to kit bash with. I did not know that about the He-Man stuff, so it's good to know. So as I started saying, I know I have one subscriber. I hope I still have him. Hope he's not the one that left. Who mentioned to me, and I'm not going to name any names, that he has difficulty seeing, and he had appreciated how descriptive I am in my videos, which is when I talk a whole lot. So I gotta kind of be mindful of that and make sure I'm pointing out the colors and stuff. I think it's something we could all probably do a little bit better. So let's take a look at mutated He-Man. This is a fantastic figure. Is the whole figure. He has this purple. It's a purple tinge. This is like Foot Clan kind of purple. He's got these big spiked gauntlets here on each arm, right above the wrist. The plastic is almost, it's not translucent, but it's really, really close. So he's got his loincloth diaper thing. He's got another silver spiked uh, waist piece, kind of like a belt, with one suspiciously placed larger spike right in the front, but I guess, and one in the back too. So all right, yeah, I guess I didn't need to go there. So what catches my eye about this figure is not necessarily all of the purple, but he has here this entirely different color on his bicep, into his shoulders, up on his chest. He's got these really cool looking aqua highlights that really are uh, following his veins, and it's where the mutagen is flowing through him, going up into his neck there. Kind of resembles George Clooney's tattoo in the vampire movie, Dusk Till Dawn. So we go ahead and check him out. He does have elbow articulation. It is very, very stiff. Yeah, listen to that, man. Pop. Don't get that much with Joe's. I did not heat him up. He's been in my house for 2 days, so knee articulation pretty much standard. Motu does have it's a little lighter there at the knees. I don't know if that's the way my light's hitting it or not. It can probably show up on camera, but of course, he's got boot cut, and they do have articulated ankles there. And then on his right foot, I think it's interesting where he's mutated here. It has busted through. His toes have busted through the front of his boot. Boot's got some cool paint apps on it. It's like all wrapped, and then the top looks like it's fur line. Looks like there's a little paint bleed there on the left fur going, I guess, going around. That's okay. I mean, it ain't really that big of a deal. You know, if this was a Four Horsemen or something, this, the tops of the boots and stuff would look like real fur. But it's He-Man. They don't do that. So he does have this hair that is a green, like it's like a neon greenish yellow on the hair, and I don't even think that it doesn't match the mutated veins. It's even a more neon highlighter kind of color on his hair, but he's got those glowing red eyes. Like his eyes are completely like all red and fantastic looking face on him, eyebrows, black eyebrows, and of course he's got this gritted teeth, just showing all of his teeth there. Um, Molar is a hell of a dentist, apparently. So before he got all mutated, I like the face sculpt on this thing. He just looks he looks pissed off. He looks like the Hulk. Actually, this looks like this could be a Hulk face sculpt. I really dig it. So he's got the black harness with the more modern H on it, and he has these triangular spikes that are nice orange that set it off, and they go all the way around to the back on the chest harness. That stands out, the orange with the H and the spikes. They're more triangle than spikes, I guess. They look like the kind of like the studded bracelets that we all had in the 80s. So yeah, he actually is, seeing him doing that, he actually is translucent, at least there in the hands, because it's getting darker, getting much darker when I put my hand behind it. So that's cool. I'm all about some translucent stuff. I don't know. So they have shoulder. I mean, you don't get a ton of articulation with these guys, but that, like, I don't know. It seems like his arms might be a little longer than they should be. I ain't gonna complain about it. It just like, hey, what's up? I love this head sculpt. So he's got good range of motion on his head. He can look down, he can look up. And then he has the black headband that wraps around that neon yellow hair, and it's soft plastic in the back where the tie is. It does swivel where that's got a peg in there, go in the back of the head. So the tie for the headband is really long, comes down one of the ends of it, comes down his all the way down his back. There is where you can pop off his armor, which I'm not gonna do, I don't think. And he's got the loincloth. You got your ball joint hip movement. He's pretty much just a standard, you know, standard Motu figure for this body type in this series. It's just the colors, like he stands out. I've got him against this all yellow floor and these yellow bricks that I've got, and his figure just looks fantastic. Let's take a look at his club that he comes with. He's got a spiked club. It's all silver. It does have a trench knife handle on it. It's a handle guard. And wouldn't these be cool if they actually rotated? It's four, three rows of four spikes, and then it has a spike at the tip, so he could kind of bash somebody with it if he had to. So pop it in his hand, it goes right in there, and move the wrist guard or the finger guard around. So he could also use that as like brass knuckles if he needed to. I'm digging this figure. I got to figure out where I'm going to put him on the shelf. I got to figure out if he's supposed to be a bad guy or not. I got to read that comic because I don't know. I don't know any of the story with these Turtles of Grayskull. I don't know if he's actually like this is evil He-Man. He sure looks evil. Hell, he looks more evil than any of the guys in the original Motu video or series. Um, so I think maybe he got a hold of some mutagen, whatever the mutagen is in the He-Man universe, and it's got him all jacked up. He's somebody I saw earlier uh, actually commented on my about the peeps and said he's like spider monkey all jacked up on Mountain Dew. That's what this He-Man looks like. He is definitely all jacked up on something. Awesome looking figure. I don't think all of these Turtles of Grayskull look this good, so I'm not diehard or anything, so I'm definitely not going to pick them all up, but the few I'll see what they do with some of the later ones that are coming. I think they've announced Wave 3 and 4 so far. As I mentioned, I'm kind of disappointed with what I've seen of the Raphael figure, but you know, I've got another Raphael. I don't need this one, but I dig this figure, and he does stand like some of the old, even when they started coming back out, the Motu figures did not stand very well. You had to have them, had to have them like that and try to position them like they were walking around trying to stick their junk out. I don't really have that with this guy. Pretty easy to pose. I do dig the ankle articulation on this figure, and it actually feels pretty good and tight when you do it. So you got him like he's creeping down, like he's crouching there. And he's pretty easy to get into some poses. I wish they did have more articulation about the arms and the elbows, but with the body style of these figures, there's only so much you can get. They're so big. But I am definitely digging this Motu figure. I don't really have anything to compare it against. I'm not going to give it a rating. I mean, as far as what I've seen, this thing's. I mean, for me, I guess if I did, it would probably be a 4.5 yeehaw. I'm not really going to try and rate stuff like this, I don't think, but just check him out here. So I'm going to grab my Lazy Susan and put him on it. All right, got him up there on the Lazy Susan, so you can take a good look at what he looks like all the way around. Like, like I was saying, I mean, this is if it's your thing. I mean, if you like the two properties, there are two properties that almost seem like they could go together very well because they're both so. I mean, they're both so kind of weird, but there was a pretty big gap between Motu and between Masters and Turtles when they come out. Masters come out in what 82, and then Turtles first hit figures and stuff first hit in 88. So I can see where there's probably a sliver of people that were kids, our age, that were all completely into Motu but might have missed Turtles. I know one or two people that are definitely that way. Um, but I think most of us probably caught both of those properties. Turtles was, or not Turtles, Masters was really the first toy line I remember being big into as a kid. And I wasn't in it for long, but I loved it. I had a ton of the stuff. But when GI Joes come out and I got a whiff of GI Joes, it just the at that time more military realistic aspect of what GI Joe was. I guess overtook the more fantasy element. I've always had a soft spot for He Man. And then Turtles, I was into Turtles because I got into Turtles as I was kind of getting tired of where they were going with Joe's. But I was in that spot that I was saying a lot of people hit before me, where real big into Turtles, all in when they first hit, but after a couple years started getting older. So these properties are a good, if not very weird, fit together. Um, I don't know. I'd like to see some more properties do this kind of thing. Um, we got Transformers and GI Joe. Of course, they're both Hasbro properties. We'll always have some version of that. But there is that dude. So I've got one other thing I want to try real quick before I finish up. And it's something I've been wanting to do since I first saw this figure. So let me make an adjustment or two here and we're going to check something out. Alright, something I have been wondering since I first saw this figure. I know he doesn't glow in the dark, but with the color scheme, I was wanting to see how blacklight reactive he is. And the answer is very. I hope it's coming through on the video. I've mentioned I use a laptop and my monitor is it's a washed out looking monitor, so I don't ever really know how stuff's showing up. But I've got a giant portable black light. So if you can see that, the hair's just glowing. I mean, it's what you expect out of a awesome black light poster. Even the orange on the harness there is picking up a little bit. So very cool figure, would go good in a display where you have black light reactive stuff, not necessarily glow in the dark. All right, so my final opinion on this guy is he's very cool, even if you're not a huge Motu or a huge turtle fan. If you just like cool random figures in your display, you can pop that harness off of him, and you know, this could be somebody else other than He-Man. So any of your figures that are this scale, he's gonna fit right in with. So yeah, if you see him, he's definitely worth picking up. He's cooler in person than he is in pictures, that's for sure. But guys, I appreciate it. If you like this stuff, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to get 100 subscribers, hopefully soon. And I really hope we can get there because I got some cool stuff coming up. So thank you guys for watching, for coming back. And until next time, this is 3-Star Draw.